What is up, everybody? The team is back in the house today. We are talking the Hurricane fundraiser and Janet Jackson's nasty divorce. All that and more on Black Hollywood Lives this week.
You are tuned in to Black Hollywood Live this week.
What's up, everybody? The crew is back in the house today. We're talking the Hurricane fundraiser and Janet Jackson's nasty divorce. All that and more on Black Hollywood Lives this week.
You are tuned in to Black Hollywood Live this week.
Give me a beat.
I don't know what we're doing.
I have no idea
what is this, a Power Ranger?
She always does this. All right, here we go.
Oh wait, is the other one?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Black Hollywood Live this week. I am your host, Derrial, Christon, and joining me today in full form, we all got new hair. I feel like new attitudes, new hair. Courtney Stewart rocking the blonde diva going on over there.
What's up, y'all?
New wig, who this?
You looking like Khalees, that's right. That's a good fact.
Oh, we should have came in with that.
Yeah, we should come in with that.
And
DJ Jesse J.
Boys to the yard.
Damn.
Go on.
And DJ Jesse J, who got his hair cut. What's going on?
Going with the Pitbull look.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go to Miami,
bro.
but went to Vegas instead.
It's working for you.
Left it all in there.
And happy belated birthday, my
Thanks,
man.
bro. And you got, look at you with your mustache, your hair
I'm
growing.
trying to get my Denzel on. My Denzel.
That's where we going?
My Denzel.
Okay.
I'm gonna let it. Denzel, my usher.
I was like, you give me a little bit of, what are you going to be, the sixth heartbeat?
You know what I'm saying? Like, not the sixth heartbeat, though.
The sixth.
Not the sixth. Not
you
the
gotta
sixth.
Be, you don't want to. You gotta be the sixth because they already got five.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll do that. That's fine. That's right. Well, we got a lot of great topics today. It's happy to be back with everybody. It's been 3 weeks.
It has.
It's been a long time.
But you know what? We've been doing this show nonstop for how long? And I was like, wow, we finally got a break.
We got a hiatus.
3 years.
It was like a holiday break.
3.5 years to get a hiatus break.
Right.
It was delightful.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we will bring you all the flavor that we had before.
Yes, and so there's been a lot of news, and obviously, you know, we had to come back talking about it. All this dang weather going on, honey. Yes. I thought it was almost the end of the world. There was a damn hurricane in Miami, stopped me from going on my birthday trip. Hurricane down in Texas, not that I was even trying to go down there, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
There was fires up here in California.
Oh, honey, yes.
There was fires across all of America, honey. I was worried that Satan was out here doing something that he shouldn't be doing.
That's what
but we're going to talk about some positivity. So before we do that, Hurricane Harvey, this hurricane ended a 12-year drought since Wilma in 2005, which is crazy. Wow. It destroyed over 30,000 people's homes, 17,000 rescues, 71 fatalities were confirmed. And it was from August 17th to September 3rd. So a bunch of celebrities got together in the hand-to-hand telethon, and it was a 60-minute telethon, and Beyonce, Jamie Foxx, Leonardo DiCaprio, The Rock, Billy Crystal, and tons of other celebrities came together, and by the end of the show, they made $14.5 million.
It's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's great.
But it just goes to show that people care. You know what I mean? Yeah. They did the work. They got in and called. And like I said, I forget which show I was on, but what I thought was really cool is just being on Twitter and seeing celebrities using their platforms to just try and, even if it was, you know, a couple $1,000, like a Bethany from Real Housewives, you know, just pulled some stuff together, got like $18,000 just off Twitter followers and celebrity friends. I thought that was cool. And then also when I would go out shopping and stuff like that, you know how like at the end of like different transactions, it can say, do you want to add a tip?
Yeah.
All of these POS systems changed it to, would you like to donate to the relief?
Yeah.
So I just thought that it was cool as a community, as a country, we all came together to be able to find some sort of way. Because it is hard to, you know, I mean, some people don't have the time to really, well, they do, but it can be hard sometimes to pick up the phone and really go through your funds to figure out how much can I really donate. So to be able to go to a grocery store when you're getting your necessities and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, take the extra change, round it up. and do a little something. I just thought that was really dope.
I actually was at a baby shower last weekend, and they one of the things that they put out was in lieu of a gift, your option was to donate to the fund, the hurricane fund, which I thought was dope. I was like, that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
And when I walked in there, I was like, oh, look at this, all these little gifts for the hurricane.
Yes,
So,
the hurricane victims. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, in some black girl magic, we got Miss Issa Rae.
Woo!
Congratulations, girl. She made
big
it.
thanks.
She gonna be the next cover girl.
There she is.
And I don't know if you've seen the pictures from this, but she looks amazing and
does.
gorgeous. But she came out to say, she had made a little statement. She said, becoming a cover girl means a lot because the brand recognizes just how important it is for people to embrace their individuality and express themselves in a unique and diverse way. This has been a major part of my personal journey and a message that I want to share with others. And what I thought was really cool, so when she used to do Awkward Black Girl, I have this friend who put me on to Awkward Black Girl, and when she found out about this story, she was like calling, just like she got like choked up about it,
Yes.
and more so she was like, it's just beautiful to see a girl who, you know, yeah, okay, you can get somebody who's a top model or whatnot, she said, but this girl, the fact that she put her personality out there, the way she looks the way that she looks, and she can become this strong, this image of a strong, beautiful woman. I just thought that was just a beautiful sentiment to hear that. And then also shout out to Miss Ava Duvernay, who made Time 100 member. And so she was at the gala and she did an influence toast. And she said, when I was asked to give this toast to someone who had influenced me, there was only one person who came to my mind, my aunt, Denise Amanda Sexton, crediting her aunt with inspiring parts of her career. She opened up my window to the world, which for me was the image of cinema. We'd take the bus to the movies, we'd see the movie, and then we'd talk and talk and talk and talk about it afterwards, which for a little girl is a big deal when someone just talks to you.
Yes, it is.
So congratulations to these two women. These are two, I mean, talk about being able to influence a new generation right now, to be able to, at this point in time, to have these two women gracing these two covers right now.
And then with the Time cover, they had 3 women too. Like it was, the whole thing is it was Ellen DeGeneres, and I forgot I think it's a CEO that's also on another cover along with Ava. So I mean, it says the power of women going on right now in the world. So it's a great thing.
Right, and keep reining it in, and more power to women too over here, because Miss Angela Rich was named by Forbes magazine as the next Steve Jobs. And for those of y'all that know who Steve Jobs is, Steve Jobs like came up with Apple and like all that.
Can I turn my
says she's single.
She's single?
I actually don't know if she's single, but she's from Washington, D.C., and she developed an innovative app called the Credit Stacker. And basically, the app teaches students about personal finance, credit management, and entrepreneurship in a fun and engaging way. And when she initially released the app back in May, within 2 weeks, the app had 200,000 downloads, sorry, and it has been named the best financial literacy product in the country by the Office of Michelle Obama. It has been named the best learning game in the country by the Department of Education, and the best in the world, the best solution in the world for reducing poverty by J.P. Morgan Chase. Angel said her ultimate goal with her company has always been to develop financial literacy ed tech games that empower and educate both students and adults. Credit Stacker is currently available in 4 languages and in 40 countries, and it is quickly approaching 1 million downloads.
Honey, I'm gonna download that.
And she's still raising money like for her company, because one of the conversations that she had in her interview was about how difficult it is for women, and especially for Black women, to get investors into their companies to keep them growing. And she mentioned how she was, named the best, educational source and the best this and the best that. And when she had a competitor that raised $75 million who had not won all those awards, and when she was doing her project, she had only raised $200,000. So getting seed capital to keep growing and all of that is always a challenge, but she said she's going to keep going. She also wrote a book that y'all should check out, which is really good, and it's called The History of the Black Dollar, and it breaks down why there's a financial gap between Black and white America.
Weren't you reading that?
I was reading Dark Money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. so I wasn't reading that.
And it's so difficult to just raise money and raise
Period.
capital,
Yeah.
period. So the fact that she's raising it on that level is huge.
Yeah, and she wants to keep growing it. And I mean, of all the places that we apparently need help, that's one of the major spots that a lot of people don't have financial literacy at all,
Right.
even as they become adults. So I think it's dope. And as a Black woman doing it. So y'all check that app out. Go ahead and download it on your phone.
I'm downloading it right as we speak. It looked like a fun game and everything.
And I'm gonna find out if she's single. And, you know,
Yes, and also read the book because
book.
read the book you know where you come from to know where you're going sometimes. So check it out.
Anthony, you had something?
Yeah, I would like to express how important I think that financial literacy is, and it's not
Yes.
taught in our school systems, and
Not
it's
at
like
all.
so important to just know how money works
Yep.
and how you can make it work for you to benefit you and use it as a tool and not have it use you.
I agree, and it's
Absolutely.
interesting. We've kind of had that topic on the show before about how we are taught a lot of things in school, but financial independence
Not
in that
at
sense,
all.
or how to manage your money is not something that's
Brother.
taught. It should
Even
be
when
in
you
high
take,
school.
It blows my
We took
mind.
economics in high
Yes.
school, and what you learn is like macroeconomics and like random basic principles of economies. And I'm like, what? That had nothing to do with like practical life.
Yeah.
And they could have taught
Right.
us
Like,
so much.
Remember they did I don't know if you guys had it, but there was what was it where they taught us like balancing your ledger and all that stuff, like basic accounts,
Right.
payable and stuff like that. Great, but like teach me how to balance credit and credit cards and everything that I
And
got
how you
going on in
need
my life.
credit and how do
Yes.
you
Why-
use
why do
credit?
you use it?
How do
Yeah.
you become an investor if you don't
Exactly.
work for a
To
company
be
that
honest-
has a 401k and you're
To
investing
pay off your
in?
credit cards when you put the purchase on there, so you don't.
What
incur
does
the
your
interest
student
rates.
loan situation actually mean for your life
Exactly.
once you graduate and like stuff like that like nobody covers
nobody
at
does
all.
that.
Because were you guys ever taught, like, I don't know, growing up, I was taught like credit cards are the devil, do not touch them. Like,
I was terrified of credit cards.
Yeah,
Yes.
me too. So I always had one credit card,
One.
never
Yeah.
touched. I
Express.
barely touched it,
Yep.
and all this stuff. And then as I got my car, I paid my car off, and then as I'm going to get a
have
new
no
car,
credit.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm
need
like,
credit.
hold up, don't tell me I don't got no money. But it doesn't matter. It has to do with what the bank said.
Don't tell me. I ain't got
Don't
no
tell me I
money.
ain't got no money, honey. Boo! So you know what I'm saying? But so it just kind of blew my mind. It was just a whole nother learning experience, like a whole new wave. So this is really important, and the fact that they do it in a fun way to look like a game, sign me
Make
up.
it a game.
up.
Y'all get on that. And in case you have any concerns about like thinking right now, like, I know I get money, like I understand, whatever. This might change your mind. Because an article was released this week by The Guardian that basically warned that the median wealth for Black Americans will fall to zero by
this.
2053 if the current trends economically continue. So basically they took this study that was done by Prosperity Now and the Institute for Policy Studies, and not only Black Americans are facing this struggle, but Latino Americans are as well. Their median
America
wealth
too, huh?
is supposed to hit zero about 2 decades after that. Okay, so basically at the point 3 years from now, they're saying white households are projected to own 86 times more wealth than Black households and 68 times more wealth than Latino households. Mind you, the irony of that is that by 2044, technically the United States is projected to be majority non-white.
Right.
Yeah, it's a
Majority
definitely.
non-white, yet somehow the wealth is still in the hands of
that's
white
threw me
people.
off. Yeah.
And the report went on and it looked at some of the reasons that were the reasons for why this exists and why this trend is happening. And basically, the major element seems to be that the discriminatory tactics of housing policies is the major reason for the lack of wealth, which if you know anything about this country, you'll know that's the case. Because basically, Black and brown people were hit hardest by the real estate bubble. They were the ones most taken advantage of in terms of getting homes, and that's been the case throughout history. Anytime
But
people
that
of
goes
color,
back to knowing finances and being prepared for that.
well,
and reading,
but that
and knowing
also
interest rates.
Well,
and
that
things
also
like that.
but it's also predatory lenders that were purposely going
I mean,
after
true.
situations
Sure.
and whatever. But we have a history in our housing practices of setting up like loans that are geared not towards Black and brown people. Like they get them higher rates just because they're Black. They have
absolutely.
proof that applications that look exactly the same when they know it's a Black person, they change the rate kind of thing.
But also, a lot of people just aren't aware.
Well, people don't
of
understand in
those interest
general.
rates and how they can.
But
go
the problem is
directions.
that those people that are unaware, black and white people are unaware of those interest rates.
It's true.
The people that are being taken advantage of are more often black and brown than they are white. So that's, anyway, and in this country, having a home and purchasing a home has sort of been the grounds and the way that we've built wealth and been able to pass wealth down, which is why black and brown folks ain't really had no wealth to pass down. So that being said, you know, they, and of course we already know, like, there was a recession in 2001 and then the 2008 crash, and all of those have hit the communities even harder and made things much worse. But the report also says that the biggest way we can make this ship turn, get on a new tide and start floating in a different direction, is that we have to actually invest in black and brown communities and not just everywhere else once we get money. Jay-Z said it too.
You know,
y'all.
it's funny though. So on another interview,
one.
another show I was on, I forget what guest it was, but he was like, I would love to be able to do that. He said, however, it's difficult if I only get so much money, you know what I mean, to go to Walmart, which is everywhere, you know what I mean, then versus driving all the way down to, you know, past Crenshaw and whatever to go to where, you know, the mom and pop place. And so he said that, and he went, and it was really interesting, his tone that he took with it too. Because that, to me, is the mentality of people. You know what I mean? It's like, well, make more of it. Well, you can't make more of it if you aren't driving that extra little bit to go support, so that way you can put money into that business. Because that's what happened with Walmart. Walmart didn't start off like bam, 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 bam. Walmart started out as one big, it was like a Sears, like a Robux kind of thing,
Right.
you know what I mean? And everyone started putting and investing into that because, yeah, they got more marketing dollars. But now that we have the internet, you can figure out places to go. You can see that you can market yourself to different communities and whatnot. And it is up to us to actually take the time to drive down and put your money into places that you can help build up.
It's true. The unfortunate thing is, though, as people are elevating and African Americans and people of color are elevating, there still is that a lot of people still have that old school mentality of a fear of investing in our own businesses.
But
and
where does that fit? What is that?
It comes from trying to get out the hood.
trying to get
Like
out the
the
hood.
goal, like
And you
you're
think-
raised to go to
exactly.
school, make some money, so you can get out the hood, not
right.
so you can hang out and stay and go back and
Exactly.
like we try and get you out the hood because
Right.
you've been in the hood
Right.
so long. Like
Right.
it's not like, oh, it just no, it's been generation after generation. It's finally somebody has an opportunity. Like, please go get
Yeah,
out. So
right.
we're starting to shift that
shifting a
narrative
little bit,
bit.
but we're not there yet,
But
though.
like it's hard, like because when the black folks that I know are going to buy houses and excited they can buy homes, like their first desire isn't to go back to the hood and buy a house.
It's so funny because we
Sure.
were with some people and they were like, "Oh, look at there's white people around here," and they was talking like that.
Yes.
I was just sitting there like, okay.
I mean, it's true. I used to live in Harlem, and Harlem was, when I lived in Harlem, it was just coming to the end of the fact of where white people were starting to
Yeah,
begin, where
the
white people were moving in,
gentrification stuff.
gentrification. Now I go to Harlem, it's like 25-year-old millennials, you know,
Yeah.
walking 125th Street in Lexington. And
Yeah.
that wasn't happening when I lived
Yeah.
there. And then now the value is up, you know,
Yeah.
which is messed up. It really is messed up overall because that's the mentality, you know. But I think people are still fearful of changing. I think there's a lot of people who are business savvy and black people or people of color who are trying to change that, but they're still. I was just around my family in the South, and some of their mentalities with certain things like this, they still are like fearful. I said something about a black-owned bank, and even my grandmother was like, "Oh, black-owned bank, you know, you got to make sure you do your research." And I'm like, "Well, did you say that about the white-owned bank, Granny? Like, what's going on?" You know.
And it's also interesting to me, like being raised. You see, like you know, my family, my parents were like, you would have thought they were Jewish. Like they were just like, nope, you gonna wear Payless shoes. This is your pair of shoes for the whole year. Da da da. And I'd be in there with my crusty shoes. And then I'd go to my friend's house, who was black or Native American, and they had every freaking pair of every outfit and everything. But it was about what they didn't have at the house. It was okay because it was sheltered, but then when you go outside, you have to portray yourself a certain way.
Right.
And so it's just that mentality of, you know, when you see these images of like Steve Jobs, who's worth this much, dresses like this, versus this guy who isn't worth this much, dresses like this. It's kind of, how do you get that mentality? It's like this cool mentality of like, you don't have to be this. And now we live in this age of Instagram.
Yeah,
Right.
I was, yeah.
So now it's just even worse.
Yeah.
It's because
worse.
it's like
That
now
is
the
worse.
image
Yeah.
is like,
Insane.
no, you need to have this designer. You need to have this.
Right.
Bitch, you have the designers, and guess what? The glue came off, and what happened? Now you don't have no shoes. And you paid all that money.
No shoes.
And all that money. And I'm still rocking my little Airwalks at Payless. I'm kidding, they are.
I was like, wait, what?
They're Nike.
I was like, those are Nike, homie.
They are Nike. But
They were on sale at the
kidding. It's okay if they were Airwalks, but no.
is.
I mean, we live in a consumer culture. Like, that's the reason there's wealth. So much wealth. Some of the reason is because we have been able to market people's minds to believe that
Media.
they need
Media
all of
runs
this
our
stuff.
lives.
You need the best. You need the most amazing. You need a bigger
This
house.
soap
You
will
need
wash
more
your body
cars.
better
You
than
need-
this soap.
You need a bigger house. You need this. Like,
We're
it goes on
trained.
and on
There's
and
no
on.
there's no way we can even go past that. We've
No, there is a way. When
There
you
is
say
a way.
when
It's
you
a
say
wa-
that, you've given into it.
No, but I'm saying, like,
because
it's
how do
very
we?
difficult,
When you're
though.
born, you aren't bred like that.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but when you're born, you also are going to be exposed to media as a kid. There's going to be, you're going to
But whose
see all
fault is
this.
that? Because it's
The
where you're-
world's like we can't.
Is it the world's or is it where we are specifically? Because
What do you mean where
when
we
I
are?
meet people from Europe, when I meet people from other places,
Oh,
their
from the US.
mentality is like,
Yeah,
y'all
well,
are
it's
fucking
different.
crazy.
Well, but that's been American
No, yeah.
mentality since like the turn of the 20th
Sure.
century. Like, I mean, the robber barons that came along and like industrialization happened, and suddenly we could have all this stuff. Like, they made their fortunes off of us needing and wanting more stuff, and needing and wanting more space, and needing and wanting more houses, and all of this stuff. So that exists as a country. Period. Like, America is known to be mass consumers.
Right.
Like, huge. Conspicuous consumption is like the way of life. It has always been. We've had more land than most countries
Sure.
for our entire existence. So like more wealth than most countries because we got it by means of shitty shit.
Right.
But but that's just what it is. So to say like to turn it off, like I get what you're
Yeah.
saying. Like I do think it's impossible to turn it off.
I don't think we'll ever be able to,
I don't think
ever.
you can turn it off because I think it is at the core of who we are in this
Exactly.
country.
but I think there's a way
Even
to
if we
work
don't want it to be.
towards
It may be
shifting.
better.
Yeah, I
but
think you
don't
can
think
shift
it's
it.
always
I
going to be a
think-
divide.
And I think being
No one's
aware
ever
of
gonna-
it.
We're never going to be equal.
Because I love my Nikes. Don't get it twisted.
Yes, and I think the fact that we can be aware of it and like pay attention, because like I'm kind of crazy, so I get moments where I look around, I'm like, oh, the stuff. So I'm like constantly like getting
Sure.
rid of stuff, and like I don't want, because we have so much stuff all the time.
Right.
We think it needs to be a part of our lives, and it really doesn't. So anyway, I don't. It's never gonna break, but good luck, guys.
No, literally, you guys.
Literally.
I just am in the middle of moving, and like it was really hard for me because I really got to a thing. I was like, I only want this many boxes, this many suitcases, like, and that's it. And as I'm going through stuff that I had just had, I'm like, why the
Why do you
F
keep it?
am I
Yeah.
holding on to certain papers
Right.
from 2001?
But
that-
you're not a hoarder.
I've never, I mean, no,
No.
because I'm not bad, but I mean, some of the stuff I was kind of worried about myself. Like, why do you need a bill from the last apartment you lived in? Like,
Right. I
why
mean, I
are
do
you
that
holding
too. I
on
can't
to that?
lie.
Well, they
stuff?
make us think them financial papers and stuff. Like
It's gonna come back in
stuff.
5 years,
and I'm
right.
like, shoot, did I
Right.
get rid of? Oh, I don't know.
I know,
Like,
I know.
and so
Especially the
I'm
income tax,
paranoid.
I
And that's why
as
my
hell.
am too.
Gmail, literally my
Me too.
Gmail shut down because I've been scared to ever delete emails. And now my Gmail is like,
understand.
skirt.
Yeah.
Sorry, you used all, like, I didn't even know that could happen.
Yeah, it's too much.
I actually accidentally deleted about 1,000 emails in my Gmail, and it was actually free.
Liberating.
I actually felt free afterwards.
I deleted
I was
all.
scared as
Yep.
I don't know what when I saw it accidentally delete, but then I felt free. I was
Just
like,
do it. Say,
it's like, I
fuck
feel
it,
free.
delete it, and then when the man calls you and says he needs something, be
Like,
like, well, I ain't got it.
It's
Like,
deleted.
I ain't
What
got
you gonna
it.
do?
It's
You gonna
deleted.
give me this credit
Can't
card or not,
squeeze
honey?
juice from a
It's
turnip.
deleted.
If I ain't got it, I ain't got it.
I ain't got it. Well,
Anyway.
all right. Well, we're gonna move on to our EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
Web story.
Spotlight of the week.
Speaking of someone who has plenty of items probably in her closet, Miss Janet Jackson has been in the news lately. Not only did she restart her tour, because I went to her tour, I think it was 2 years ago.
And Miss, let me tell you,
Oh, her
Miss,
body is snatched.
I ain't even. I mean, yeah, she
I mean,
all
that's
that,
six-pack.
but I gotta say, she's dancing better than she was in the first tour.
Well,
She was
well,
probably
see,
going through
no,
fertility
but here's the thing, though. I said the same thing. I actually, because I've gone to several Janet tours. We're gonna get to the story. I promise you got me on this Janet Jackson tour now. I seen her many times. The last tour, this tour, 2 years ago, she was married, so she was more.
Yeah, you were mad. She was all covered up.
She was all covered up. I actually didn't enjoy the show as much. I've criticized the show. I'm like, it was good, but I was like, Janet's always gonna be great, But it wasn't old school Janet. Like, let me see the 6-pack and do her thing. Now I've been seeing pictures of her on this tour. It's like the old Janet's back. She getting divorced.
Her movement is like more fluid.
Yeah.
Like
she don't have as much clothes. Literally she was like in clothes.
He like she half naked.
She naked now.
She can body roll now.
I'm just saying she was not like.
She doing
that.
a Dougie.
I'm even gonna go. I'm like, I'll go back to this tour.
Strip tease.
But she was gonna go back to the tour even if she was
you're right.
Come on.
So
I'm working on my 6-pack so I can go to the tour too with a belly shirt.
Right there.
I'm trying to be the one that she always pulls one. She always pulls one dude up, to do a little performance. I'm still trying to be the dude. So I'm trying to get closer to the stage to be that dude.
Let's all Black Twitter. Come on, let's get it together. Make Derrial that dude.
Let's do that. I want to be that dude. So Janet is back in the news because of the tour, but she's also back in the news because she's going through a little nasty divorce, and there's a lot of claims going back and forth. She recently had a baby. The baby's probably like a year old now.
Yeah,
it's a really cute
there.
kid, and her soon to be ex-husband, Wissam Alamana, who is 42. There's been claims now that Janet's saying that she was verbally abused and there were some abuse things that are going on. Now, they are, like I said, in a bitter divorce kind of custody over the child, so I don't know how much that plays into it. But her brother, Randy Jackson, he's actually been talking a lot to media about what's been going on with his sister, and he said this. Randy said he claims his sister suffered verbal abuse and felt like a prisoner in her own home. He also said that there's a lot about Janet that people just don't know, and she's going through a lot during this divorce, and she's been mum about a lot of things, but he said there definitely was some abuse things going on. So all that's being played out in the media. What do you think about this? Do you think that it's true, or do you think it's part of a tactic to kind of keep the baby, say some negative things, so it kind of benefits her more in the long run of this custody battle for the kid?
I mean, it's never great to sort of assume the victim is lying because if you're being victimized by abuse, that's awful and terrible and horrible. But oftentimes when there's a custody situation going on, the allegations of abuse tend to be exaggerated, sometimes all the way made up for the purposes of the custody case.
And these allegations didn't come out when the divorce happened. It came out
when the
now.
custody.
That maybe now he's trying to get rights to his child.
Right.
And
I'm sure he will have them regardless, but she probably wants them more in favor of the life that she wants to lead, which may mean her coming back to America. Maybe he wants her to have to stay in London.
Because he lives overseas.
Whatever. So I hope she wasn't abused. If she was, girl, I'm sorry. And if all of us lies just because you won't keep your baby girl, you need to stop.
We
that's
don't
that
need
baby
a BHL
daddy.
story.
Yeah, and
that's the
that's
baby's
what I was
daddy.
gonna say. I really hate when
I
hate when that happens, because I hate that I have to actually think about, is it true or not? You know what I mean? Because so many people use that as their defense, and it's just not cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And when custody cases, people say horrible-ish about the other parent that can be completely untrue for custody cases. Yeah. So, good luck, girl.
Janet,
luckily, y'all rich.
Yeah, luckily you're rich.
Because y'all probably going to be in court for a minute.
Playing ping pong.
I don't know what English courts are like in terms of...
Yeah, because that's where it would take place, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because I think they're
that's
based
where they got
in London.
married? Or would it be wherever they got
I think
married?
it's where they, no, I think it's where they live.
Where they live,
and
yeah, I think so.
They were living primarily in London, weren't they?
Yeah.
And the child was born in London.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
Right, I'm like asking that.
I have no idea.
I should be
so
asking
cool
this
with
one
the
over
Jacksons,
here.
We hang out all
Girl,
the
what did
time.
Randy say?
She helped deliver the baby.
Wait, you want to hear
I was
just a
there.
stupid funny thing? As I ate an edible when I read this story, and when it said Randy Jackson, I'm like, why?
Why is he talking?
I'm like, from American, I'm like, why the fuck does he know anything about Janet Jackson getting abused? I'm like, did she console in him?
It's kind of like when Jermaine just randomly be popping up with his
No, but you know you
pasted
got to talk
head,
about
and
two
you're
different things.
Oh,
He's
I'm talking about Randy Jackson from American Idol.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. No, when I first started, I'm like, why does he know Janet Jackson? And then I'm like, sitting there like, is they related somehow? I'm like, well.
Oh.
Yeah, because Randy Jackson from American
I was
Idol.
not, but I don't know.
I was just confused
The
why
beginning of my
brothers be
story was I
chiming in
ate an
randomly.
edible as I read the story, and then I saw the Randy
That's
Jackson.
why it made no
comment.
sense.
That's why it made sense.
Yeah.
We be having separate conversations.
It's all good.
fine.
That's why y'all love us,
But
right?
wait, why did there were separate conversations, but we was
They still
connected?
make
Y'all was
sense.
connected because she's really about to be on your side too. I was like, wait, y'all talking about two different things, by the way. You know that, or two different people. All right.
Technically, in the end, we were just talking about why the hell is Randy Jackson chiming in regardless.
Amen. Whether he
Sure.
related or not.
True.
You know?
I mean, that's true. All right, so now to our last story of the day. AMC is developing a series based on Black Lives Matter. It's from a book by Wesley Lowery. It's called "They Can't Kill Us All," right? So this is it's in production right now. There's no date set for the release of the series, but it examines how decades of racially biased policies in segregated neighborhoods, with failing schools, crumbling infrastructure, and few jobs, has led to high-profile high-profile cases of police brutality in Ferguson, Cleveland, Baltimore, and elsewhere around the world, and how the movement of the movement of Black Lives Matter actually was initially created. So I think it's going to be really interesting. Especially, I feel like we've been hearing a lot about different shows and different, like HBO's doing their show, and there's different things that are kind of popping up that are kind of focusing on this subject matter. So it's going to be interesting to see where all of these kind of lie when they are fully, released.
And especially AMC, because they have such a tone on their
They
network.
do.
Yeah.
They do.
They do.
That if it's almost gives like, remember, like kind of like American Crime Story, like if it's that kind of a tone,
Yeah.
I would be really into it. I'm gonna be really into
I don't
it.
like the name of it.
Yeah, it is very
I
like.
mean, I get it. It's,
I
it's
like-
based
I-
on
I
something.
love-
Watch us now because they can't kill us all.
I like it because
can't
it's
kill
so
us
it makes
all.
you pay attention to it though.
It does,
What
but it
don't you
also
like
is
about
kind
it?
of. It's also kind of like the
don't.
news, where it's like I don't want to turn the news on because I know I'm going to click and it's just going to be negative, 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 and that has a really negative.
I mean, well,
You know,
but it's a negative
tone.
subject matter.
I mean,
No, I
I think
know.
negative isn't my thing. It's just they can't kill us all. Like, like they won't kill us or need to stop killing us. Like that they can't kill us all is like, yeah, they can kill some of us, but they ain't gonna get all of us. I don't want that. Like that energy.
No,
just
see,
doesn't feel right to
I took it
me.
as a different way. I took it as in the past they have taken a lot of us out, but that, moving forward, this it's not going to happen.
Well,
They
look,
can't
now,
kill
but
us
see,
all.
that's a different title.
That's a different type. They can't kill us all means some of us got through it.
Shrug your shoulders.
And we gonna keep going, and we've been doing that, and that's real uncomfortable to me.
It's
I'm
the
like,
way you just. It's the way you just did it.
No, it is.
You
And
did
the
a
tone in her
you did
voice.
a real slavish.
Well.
They ain't gonna do this. They don't do. I'm like, what the hell? I'm trying to be serious right now. You'll be, well, they sure ain't gonna kill us all. Thank you, Massa.
Oh, I'm so glad you got that.
I was trying to get with you.
The little vibrato in your voice.
That's what it makes me feel
Yeah.
like. It's like they
No, I
killed
feel you. I
most of
understand.
us, and
I
they
feel
killed
what
some
you're
of us,
saying.
but
I
they
feel what you're
ain't gonna
saying.
kill us all. Like
Well,
that's
Because
not powerful
to get the
me.
picture, I had to like double check the
That's
story. I was like, is this
upsetting.
really the title?
I feel you. I feel
Like
you.
I need like the motherfuckers ain't killing no more of us or something like
Done.
Right.
It's over.
We ain't dying no more.
Exactly.
Because I figured they can't call it
I actually do like We Ain't Dying No More. Even if I say
BLM
so.
or Black Lives Matter, because then it's kind of like, you know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right,
it's
right.
like, now that's a movement. This is a story. This is something you
Yes.
pay attention.
But and I'm glad they don't call it Black Lives Matter because then most
Yeah.
of the people that need to watch it ain't gonna look at it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think.
most of them still think it's a terrorist group.
But it's also based on the book, so they're
Yes, I
using
know
the
it's based
title
on the
from the
book,
book.
of course.
You know, so.
So
that's-
whoever wrote
Congratulations.
that book, I don't know the
Congratulations,
title.
and AMC, if you're
Big
listening,
Congratulations.
listen, AMC,
They
if you're
optioned
listening,
that
we
book.
gave you some new titles, and we would expect credit for that.
Right.
So we said it here. We know the date. So if it pops up with our titles,
Right.
we know
But
what's
I
up.
will be watching.
Right.
I will be watching.
We'll get a little credit at the end.
Little
That's fine.
credit.
You know,
Yeah.
Ain't been the first time.
Or you
Right.
can cast us too.
Or you can cast us. We
can
will-
run through
we
the
do great commentary for
streets,
things
yell
like
at
this.
People, you know,
Exactly.
We could do it.
I'll
I'll
be-
give them a Pepsi if that's where y'all go, because then I'm
Wow.
not gonna watch your show.
Okay.
You
Pepsi.
really took it.
That was the
She did. She took it there. She did. All right with that Pepsi.
I'll be watching
All
from
right.
home, honey, with my little pop.
Well, it's Emmys weekend this weekend. You guys excited about anything for the Emmys?
Not really.
No.
I am
And it's
the Black
VH1
Hollywood Live brunch.
Well,
Oh,
we
well,
are having
our
the Black Hollywood-
situation.
Well, yes, our.
But like the
brunch.
actual,
Nothing.
honey.
Well,
and I ain't gonna say why.
It's
love
also the
Emmys.
hip hop honors this weekend too.
Oh, it's this
so,
weekend? I didn't
yeah.
realize that.
Yeah,
They're
so.
like they're shooting it this weekend?
Yeah, it shoots on Sunday. So.
Oh, I
So
didn't
we-
realize
we'll
that.
be there, hopefully. So.
Well, I'm excited
Hopefully,
about
look.
that.
Hopefully.
Hopefully,
Hopefully.
was hoping for the Emmys too. But,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
All right. Well,
life
Courtney, where can people
happens.
find you and your blonde do?
You're probably gonna find me online at Stewart Starlet without the blonde do as soon
On
as I get home.
Instagram story, dancing to "Work It Out."
Yes. You know, that was like my favorite song ever.
I know. It was,
From
I
that
totally
one
could see like
time.
dancing at home,
Oh my
cleaning
God.
your
That was like the best. Like to this day, that's still my favorite.
Work it out. Can we please go out to
Or
that
the one with
Beyonce
Baby
work it?
Boy. with the one, not Baby Boy, with Big Boy. Fuck, what is his name? Excuse my language.
Check on it.
No, the one that on
Beyonce?
Hip Hop Star with on the first album.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, that's
Beyonce, work it. Oh, you guys can
Sean
hit me
Paul
up.
or Sean Paul?
No.
Hip Hop Star. That's what it's called.
Oh.
Off the
It's
first
called Hip
album.
Hop Star
Oh, I thought you
with-
said Beyonce's
What's his name
first
for
album.
Outkast? Did the
Big Boy.
Oh,
on it.
yeah.
I did say Big Boy,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
I said Baby Boy like.
I think you
800
said
times.
Baby
I
Boy, and then
like
you said Big Boy
5,000
Star,
times.
and then.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I got
you
you.
guys can hit me up at DJ Jesse J.
You can hit me up at Derrial Christon on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that fun stuff. Follow us. We got some good stuff. We'll have some good pictures from this weekend. And we about to go out. See y'all next week. And I'm happy we're back. Peace.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Derrial, Christon, Harvey, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Hollywood redefined.
I thought it.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.